welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Larissa L. You are on my YouTube channel, Parker Kate, where I feature beauty, lifestyle, and fashion videos. And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer, as well as the new Desert Haze Luxury Eye Palette. So if you're ready to see what my thoughts are, how to get this really beautiful, glowy, kind of summer-esque bronze look, then please keep on watching. Anyways, let's get into the reason why you're here, and that is the bronzing duo from Charlotte Tilbury. Let's talk about the bronzer first, a little bit about it, and then we're going to demonstrate it on my face. So, this is the packaging. You get this massive compact, which I really wasn't expecting at all. Like, I was expecting it to look like this and be 8 grams of product like the finishing powder, but you actually get a whopping 16 grams of product in this. You get this massive, beautiful rose gold compact. You get, her typical sunrise logo with the CT there in Charlotte Tilbury. And then on the back, it tells you the shade along with a little tiny hole so you can pop the product out. So anyways, the Airbrush Flawless Finishing, why do I keep calling it that? The Airbrush Bronzer comes in 4 different shades. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have 2 medium, 1 is fair, and then 3 and 4. 4 is the darkest shade. Now this is a matte micro milled powder, so it's going to be the same type of formulation as the Flawless Finishing face powder. So it is micro milled, which means it's going to sweep onto the skin, it's going to look like skin and blend out really easily. It's going to have that beautiful soft focus effect that a lot of Charlotte Tilbury's products, especially your powder products, are known for, as well as it contains hyaluronic acid, so it's hydrating. And it also has silky mica in it, and silky mica just means that it is the type of ingredient that's going to give you that beautiful soft finish focus effect. So let's open this baby up and see what you get. Now you do get, again, 16 grams of product, and not only is this a face bronzer, but it is a face and body bronzer. We all know my body needs some bronzing right now. Anyway, so when you open it up, you get this huge, massive, high quality mirror. You're going to see what my set looks like. And then you get this massive pan, and I'm in the shade 2 medium. Now this pan is pretty big, like it's almost as big as my face, and I have a pretty big face, so that's saying a lot. And the cool thing about this bronzer is actually refillable. So that's what this little hole on the back is for. You just pop the pan out and order a new one instead of ordering a whole entire compact. Alright, up next is the luxury eyeshadow palette. Now this is an all matte palette. This is called the Desert Haze Luxury Eyeshadow Palette of Mattes. So you get the typical luxury palette packaging, the same formulation that comes in her other palettes just like this. So you get the typical 1, 2, 3, 4 laid out on the back. It tells you which one is your prime shade, which one is your enhanced shade, your smoke shade, and your defined shade. Now this is a peachy brown undertone, so if you're somebody who, like me, likes the peachy browns, you're really going to love this palette. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply it to my face, and then I'm going to finish it off with the bronzer and, some other facial features that I'm desperately lacking right now. Okay, so I'm going to start off by taking the kind of beautiful peachy tone brown, and I'm going to be placing this all over my mobile eyelid. For that, I'm just going to use a fluffy brush. So I'm just going to knock off the excess, and there is a lot. You have to be careful because she does have such high quality pigmentation in her eyeshadow palettes. Typically there is a lot of fallout, so just knock off the excess or very, very lightly dip your blending brush in. This is a JH, my glasses on, 36. So again, you do get a lot of pigmentation with this. There is no muddiness, which is very nice, because especially browns, matte browns, and matte blues, sometimes you'll pick up a little bit of muddiness when you're applying. So even if you just wanted to kind of like throw on this one color and then use this color right here as just a liner to just quick like an eye look to get you out of the door, you can totally do that too. It has that beautiful soft focus blurring effect because it's so easy to blend out. I'm just going to go in with this blending brush really quickly and kind of sweep over the edges just to make sure that there are no harsh lines. I'm going to go ahead and take the brown underneath it. I'm going to use the same blending brush. You can probably use a smaller one if you want. knock off the excess, and I'm just going to start focusing the darker brown, the second darkest brown, in the palette, kind of in the outer corner of my eye. And I just do little tiny stippling motions, and I slowly work that into the outer portion of my eye and then up into the crease. Gradually going to build up that color by just dipping back in, blending out, dipping back in, and blending out until I'm happy with the intensity of that brown. Now I'm going to go in with an even smaller brush. This is a very tiny little pencil brush. This is a JH38 brush, so it is very tiny. And what I'm going to do is, obviously, you guys know, I'm going to take it and dip it into the dark brown. And then I'm going to pad the excess on the back of my hand. Just that way I kind of diffuse any fallout. And I'm going to put this right into the outer corner and then really emphasize my crease with it. So I'm going to start by doing little circle motions right at the very outer corner of my eye. And then bringing it into the crease. And then that way it's really going to kind of smoke out and intensify the eye, but without looking too dramatic and getting makeup like all over the place. Smoking it out just a little bit more. And then if you want, you can go in and blend it out. I'm going to do a very tiny bit of blending, but not a lot. Then I'm going to take my finger, because you know, what's a makeup tutorial on my channel without using my fingers? I'm going to take that back into the first brown that we used. And I'm just going to kind of go back in and pick up the intensity that I lost when I blended this color out. And I'm keeping this more kind of in this center of the eye, and I'm bringing it into the eye. Then I'm going to go and take that brush from before. I'm just going to buff just very lightly. Now you can leave it like this, or you can actually use the lightest shade as the base color and then darken the eyes up that way. But I'm just doing it this way just to kind of show you that there are different variations of eyeshadow depending on how you apply it. Okay, then for eyeliner, what I'm going to do is take the smudge brush, and I'm going to start off with this color in the palette. Just going to take this, again, tap it off the back of my hand, and I'm just going to use this on my lower lash line. Now obviously you can wear this eyeshadow a lot more subtle than I wear my eyeshadow. I can do a different video showing you other ways to use this eyeshadow palette and not make it so dramatic like I have here. So if you want that, let me know in the comments below and I will do that for you guys. Now I'm going to go ahead and take another pencil brush. This one is by IBY Beauty, and I'm going to dip into the matte cream color. And I'm just going to put this into the inner corner of my eyes, obviously dusting or stamping off any bit extra. Now this cream color has a little bit of a brown undertone to it, so I'm just going to pop it into the middle to kind of lay it down as a base to open up my eyes. And then you can also use it as a brow bone highlighter, even though it is matte. Try something different. I'm going to go and spice it up with some eyeliner. I'm going to use this mesmerizing maroon eyeliner. I'm going to use the metallic side, and I'm going to pop this bronzy copper shade into my waterline. Now I'm going to go ahead and hop off of camera, and I'm going to apply some eyeliner and some mascara, and I will be right back. So now we are back, and this sultry eye look is complete with the eyeliner and the mascara, and I will link those down below if you're interested. Right now it's time to jump into the bronzer and make the face match the eyes. I'm going to start up here and drag the color down. Ooh, that is really pretty. Okay. So it is a very soft focus. It is very easy to blend out. But I'm going to just bronze up one side of my face with a very light bronze first, just to show you how you can gradually build it up. And then I'll go in with a more compact brush to show you more of a darker, more pigmented version. I love how this bronzer is supposed to make it look like a natural tan from the sun. So not too orange and not too brown and not too red. Just kind of the perfect undertone, so more of an olive kind of peachy undertone, which I think suits a lot of different skin types. But again, it all depends on what your skin tone is, what your undertone is. That's going to give you that perfect sun-kissed look. So I'm just going to bring this around my forehead, apply a little bit to my nose, down my neck. You know what? Because this is a face and body bronzer, we're going to bronze everything. So I'm going to try this brush here, back and forth, and I'm going to pick up the color. There we go. And you see now I've got a lot more pigmentation, but you're still able to blend it out so it still looks really natural. So that is what it looks like with the pigment picked up with a more dense brush. Again, I can blend this out so it can be more diffused, which I'm going to do in a second because it's not blended. But just to show you how you can gradually pick up the pigmentation with this. So this side of my face is bronze versus no bronzer. So I'll just turn. Now you wouldn't take your bronzer this big if you didn't want to. I'm just doing it for the sake of the video. I can go back in after with a setting powder and just kind of clean up that line, which I will do. But just to kind of blend it out, I'm going to go in with this big brush. This is a JH01 brush. The other one was a JH02 brush. So this one doesn't have any product on it, but I just want to kind of blend out. Okay, so everything is nice and blended out. I've kind of used the bronzer a little bit as a base on my cheeks for my blush. And really beautiful blushes at this time of year, especially with the tan, are blushes that have pink and orange, so coral undertones, like this one. Obviously, I use this one in every single video because I'm obsessed with it. This is just the perfect color. It is that beautiful coral color. This is called Luminoso by Milani, and this is a drugstore brand, so it's really affordable and it lasts a really long time. And the pigmentation and payout of this one blush, because I see another one clearly, is just amazing. Just gonna apply this to my cheekbones. Now if you want to do what I do, some makeup artists don't like this, you just take the leftover and you apply a little bit to the tip of your nose, and then a little bit to your temples, and then to the bottom of your chin. And that kind of makes the look more cohesive and a little bit of color. Now I need even more highlight, so I'm going to go in with the Pillow Talk. This is the Beauty Light one from Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm going to just apply this just a little bit to the top of my cheeks. Then you can go in with your fingers or a beauty blender to kind of blend it out. I'm going to keep it nice and dewy, so I'm going to just use my fingers, and then I'm going to actually add a little bit of that to the actual cheekbone or the apple of the cheek, just to kind of make the blush pop a little bit more. Alright guys, we're getting there. We're getting nice and bronzed for summer, even if it's just a powder bronzer. Let's go ahead and finish up the lips, and then we're finally going to jump into my final thoughts on the palette and the bronzer. Alright guys, we are now at the end of the video, and I know it looks a little bit different because when I was going through the footage, I realized that it did not record my ending, or the footage got deleted. I'm not sure what happened, but here we are, a couple hours later, like it is late at night. I've thrown back on some makeup, so I kind of look a little crazy in my pajamas, but I just wanted to give you my final thoughts on the bronzer and the eyeshadow palette. Now, when you last saw me, I was doing arm swatches of the Desert Haze palette compared to the matte shades in the Charlotte Darling palette, and I'm just doing side by side. As you can see, the matte shades from the Charlotte Darling palette are very, very similar to the matte shades in the Desert Haze palette. They're very, very subtle differences. The brown in here, the darkest brown, is a little bit more kind of chocolatey, whereas the second color has a little bit more of a peachy undertone, where the other one is not as orange. So do I recommend you get the Desert Haze palette? Yes, I do. If you are somebody who loves the Charlotte Tilbury luxury palettes, you like the formulation, you want something that's going to be high quality, that is matte, because I think she only has one more matte palette in the luxury palette line. This is a great addition, and the fact that you have so many different browns and this color right here, this cream color, which actually isn't cream, it actually swatches almost like a sand color. So that's what it looks like right there. So don't expect a bone white or cream color. It does have peach undertones. It's very, very subtle. It's almost like a sandy peach color. Now, if you're somebody with mature skin and you like matte palettes, this also might be a palette that you want to consider, especially if you don't want all the shimmer that comes in the Charlotte Darling palette. But if you already own the Charlotte Darling palette, since everything is so very similar, you might want to go ahead and skip the Desert Haze palette. Now next, let's move on to the Airbrush Bronzer. I keep wanting to put the word flawless in there because of the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Anyways, so back to this. The bronzer comes in 4 shades. It contains hyaluronic acid, which means it's going to be hydrating. It has silk mica in it, which means it's going to be very, very smooth. It is finely milled like the setting powder that is in this line. And it's going to be almost like skin when you apply it. It's very easy to blend out. It has a soft focus effect. And you can build up the pigmentation of this bronzer. Now this bronzer, I have the color 2, which is medium. You get a massive 16 grams, so it's a pretty big pan, and it's going to be used for your face and your body, which is always a plus. One thing I will say about the bronzer is because it's very easy to blend out and very soft focus, if you're somebody who likes a tan super dark, I would actually go up a shade. So if you are somebody from like a fair to a medium skin tone that gets really dark or uses really dark self tanner, go ahead and pick up number 3 instead of number 2. I definitely recommend you go ahead and you pick this guy up. I'm very impressed. This is definitely a shade of bronzer that I don't have in my collection, which is why I absolutely love it. It does look like I have a tan and gives me a kind of youthful glow to my skin. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning into my video. Sorry I look different at the end. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. As well as comment down below if you're going to pick up the bronzer, what your thoughts are. And if you're going to go ahead and pick up the Desert Haze eyeshadow palette and what your thoughts are on that as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.